Why couldn't Gandalf use his full Maiar power? What are the Istari? Are there only 5 wizards? Are the wizards' colors a ranking system? That's a lot of questions, class. All great ones nonetheless. Now this may end up being multi-parts, so bear with me. But let's start on the easy ones. First question, why are there 5 wizards? And are there only 5 wizards? Yes, there are only 5 wizards, and there only ever has been 5 wizards. Saruman the White, Gandalf the Grey, Radagast the Brown, and the 2 blue wizards, LOTR and Palando. The rest of the rainbow was not included. Now, within the story, according to the Unfinished Tales, there was actually only supposed to be 3 wizards sent over to Middle-earth: Saruman, Gandalf, and Alatar. Saruman chosen by Aule, Gandalf chosen by Manwë, and Alatar chosen by Orome. But then Yavanna petitioned for Radagast to be sent, and then Alatar brought Palando as a friend. And if you've read the Unfinished Tales, or if you watched my video on the 2 blue wizards, you'll know that Palando was also a Maiar under Orome, just like Alatar, but originally Tolkien wrote Palando to be under Nienna and Mandos until he changed it to Orome. And those 5 are the only Maiar sent over to Middle-earth by the Valar. So there are only 5 wizards roaming around Middle-earth. Second question, are their colors a ranking system? No, and yes, kind of. Tolkien never outright explains what their colors mean, but from writings in the Silmarillion in regards to the Valar and Maiar taking on colored raiments and comparing those to the characteristics of the characters, we can kind of assume or theorize what those colors mean. Like how Yavanna, the Valar that's associated with everything in Middle-earth that grows, her raiment is green. The only time rank may be relevant when it comes to the colors is with Saruman being Saruman the White. White is typically associated with authority and leadership, and Saruman is chosen to be head of the Istari Order. So if rank is at all relevant in the color choice, it would just be with Saruman to really signal that he is the head of the 5 wizards. This may also be why Gandalf comes back as Gandalf the White, and he says his famous line,
I am Saruman. Rather Saruman as he should have been.
because he's coming back as the new head of the Istari Order and what Saruman should have been as a leader. But in my opinion, in my theory, in my headcanon, from what I have learned in all my years of studying and reading Tolkien and sometimes picking up on his subtle double meanings of things, I personally like to theorize that Tolkien used white with Saruman as a literary foreshadow to his eventual failure and becoming Saruman of many colors. Because white is one of the colors that can be easily manipulated by the other colors and hues. But that's just my theory. Moving on to Gandalf, when he's Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf is known for his wisdom, his pity, his responsibility, his reliability, his ability to calm others down, and sometimes even bring balance. All of those characteristics are associated with the color gray. Next is Radagast the Brown, our little nature-loving cinnamon roll. Brown is associated with earth and nature and can even correlate with simplicity and calmness, which is the exact opposite of what Peter Jackson gives us in The Hobbit, but you know what? It's whatever, it can be forgiven because at least we get a Radagast on screen. And you know, come on, he's adorable, so it's fine. Last are the 2 blue wizards, Alatar and Palando, or Morienthar and Romistaumo, depending on which depiction of the blue wizards you like, which, if you watched my video on the blue wizards, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, blue can have a lot of meanings, and if you like to go off the second telling of the blue wizards, they stayed true to the symbolism behind the color blue: trust, loyalty, and responsibility. But if you like to go off the first telling of the blue wizards, they abandoned the meaning behind their color, just like they did their mission. Now, I've droned on for quite a bit now, so I am going to have to make a part 2, I'm sorry. But in that second part, I am going to explain why Gandalf couldn't use his full power and what the Istari were and what their purpose was.